the parliamentary slot for East African Legislative Assembly in the upcoming by-election. Now, this follows the death of Mathias Kasamba, who represented Uganda in the regional parliament since 2017. Government Chief Whip Thomas Tayebwa says the slot belonged to the ruling party, warning against party members intending to run as independents. Henry Okrut gives us more.
In her remarks on Thursday's afternoon parliamentary sitting, Deputy Speaker of Parliament Anita Annette Among indicated that the House would hold by-elections for East African Legislative Assembly.
The notice of sitting on Monday on 26th July 2021 will be for a by-election to fill the vacancy of Uganda's representative to EALA. So I call all of you to come and exercise your constitutional right.
This communication attracted this kind of response from woman member of parliament for Namisindwa district, Sarah Kayagi.
And I thought that the rest of the shades in the house are already represented at EALA. Now the election is to take place. So I'm seeking clarification. Wouldn't it be right for the name of the flag bearer of NRM to be brought to the House and it's passed without competition?
Kayagi's argument was on grounds that the deceased EALA MP Mathias Kasamba belonged to the ruling National Resistance Movement. This prompted Deputy Speaker to cite provisions of the East African Community Treaty.
Because I'm seeing other candidates moving around with nomination forms. That's the clarification I'm seeking. Why are we having elections and yet the person who passed on was one of the members of the NRM?
Treaty 50. I also referred you to some cases that you must read for you to answer that question.
NRM Parliamentary Caucus, in a bid to replace the late Mathias Kasamba, chose former Kabula County MP James Kakoza as its flag bearer for EALA by-elections.
The only way you can be recognized as an NRM member is if you have the stamp of the Secretary General of the NRM saying you're their candidate. And we had our caucus meeting where we elected the Honorable James Kakoza. So the Secretary General of the party has already written to the Clerk of Parliament. I have a copy of the letter clearly stating that the NRM is nominating Honorable James Kakoza as the only flag bearer for the party. Any other person coming, even if they claim they are NRM, please, we don't recognize them in as far as this exercise of EALA is concerned.
In agreement with Sarah Kayagi, Thomas Tayebwa expresses readiness to retain this seat.
The sharing, the democracy in EALA is based on numerical strength. So that's why on Monday we anticipate that the Honorable Kakoza will say it through unopposed, and I believe the verification committee will be live to the facts that we must have an NRM member occupying this seat.
The EALA parliamentary slot for Uganda fell vacant following the death of NRM's Director for Mobilization, Mathias Kasamba. Elections are scheduled for Monday at the Ugandan Parliament. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thanks, Henry, for that report there. Meanwhile, anti-riot police has engaged city dwellers in running battles who had taken occupation of the streets in downtown Kampala, claiming they can no longer handle staying at home without working. As Ivan Juko now reports, police claims any attempt to pull crowds or force your way downtown is a breach of the presidential directive to counter the spread of COVID-19 pandemic and calls for action.
Police mounted an operation to push out city dwellers and vendors who had made a comeback move to occupy the downtown street. Police. This asserts that the attempted return of vendors and street dwellers is in contravention of the presidential directives in the fight against the spread of COVID-19 pandemic.
What to do? Go home. We don't want people in town.
The operation started at City Square, spread to Arua Park, Seka Business Center, combing areas of Mini Price and Kisenyi. However, through all these hotspots, where vendors and street dwellers had converged for normal business transactions, police engaged in scuffles with those who had opened shops and the dwellers. In fierce engagements, police also conducted the arrest of those who attempted to resist. Many of the people operating saloons here at Grand Corner House claim they are among the vulnerable persons that were meant to benefit from the COVID-19 relief fund package of government, but they have never received even a penny from contracted telecom companies to handle the transactions.
Kati tulina kyakukola tuli awo tunoonya n'ekyokukola tetukitegeera. Nze ndi mukyala wa Nviiri. Baatuggala tetulina yadde 10. Mukyala n'abbaanya ffe tetunnaba kufuna ssente yadde n'ekikumi ku masimu gaffe.
Kituleeta mu kibuga tunoonya mbeera, tunoonya survivor, tunoonya kubeerawo. Nina abaana 4, nina omukyala. Kati ffenna twetunuulira ne ntandika okulaba obuyisa obubi omukyala bw'alina oba obulungi ne neesoosa. Kumbe nga kye neesoosa njala yennuma mu nsawo ne ntuuka okulwanagana n'omukyala omuntu oyo alibadde ajja n'atandika okunoonya. Singa mbadde nina akawunga ewaka oba nga nina emmere naalibadde sijja mu kibuga.
Ivan Juko, UBC News in Kampala.
Police there, of course, in running battles with people who have defied the presidential directive to stay at home in order to curb the spread of COVID-19. Now, Police Special Investigations Unit has arrested 10 suspects over stealing and vandalizing telecommunication masts across the country. According to Charles Twine, the spokesperson at the Crime Intelligence Directorate, accessories worth 6.5 million shillings were recovered during an operation mounted today.
The arrest followed continuous complaints from different telecommunication companies and constant internet disruptions.
Targeting different telecommunication masts and vandalizing them. The intelligence indicated that these bad guys would target majorly the generators that generate power that enable the masts to function. But also us in security. We have so many things which we could not on internet, including our cameras. Our cameras are internet connected. So anybody who vandalizes and disables the telecommunication masts is not only regarded as the person who is the thief, but he is sabotaging the operations of government, of different government activities.
Some suspects had already opened up spare parts shops dealing in these stolen mast accessories, while others committed as hawkers in mobile markets. These are said to have started scratching serial numbers and other identical features from these spare parts.
And that is typical of a person with a criminal mind. Because if you are selling something genuine, why do you attempt to erase the serial number or the engrave? There is one girl who was permanently staying in the car to keep these spare parts. But you see, even the neighbors didn't know that there were spare parts in that car, even when the car was parked outside. they thought the neighbor had bought a new car. Little did they know that the car was used at the store and the girl was still staying in that store every night.
The accessories recovered valued worth 650 million shillings, while the total amount of the missing spare parts is 2 billion shillings. Police is investigating the connection of this group to different terrorism activities.
Investigation is going to explore. We are going to explore to establish whether their acts are related to terrorism. These things, as you have seen them, they are very, very expensive machines. Some of them, one motor goes to around 20 million, according to the expert. So we got these things in shops. They had started some shops.
The arrested are still being held at the Special Investigations Unit, Kireka, for further investigations before they are taken to court. Abdul Nasir, Lubwama, UBC News.
Now, herbal-based traditional medicines play a significant role in disease management in Africa and are widely used as alternative medicines. As scientists around the world race toward finding an effective treatment and cure for COVID-19, Uganda recently approved Covidex and Covilis-1 herbs as a supporting treatment for viral infections, including COVID-19. UBC TV brings you a story of another researcher in Wakiso district who claims to have healed over 80 COVID-19 patients, some in critical condition.
About 20 kilometers northeast of Kampala city in Kijjanangoma is a nursery school that closed after government announced the first COVID-19 lockdown in January 2020 and has since been occupied by herbalists for 9 months now. For 7 years now, Dr. Alex Victor Biomark Tugume Tuizuche of Green Gold Organic Options and Natural Remedies has been engaged in herbal medicine and together with a group of self-perpetuating researchers have since last year been looking for solutions to the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Tugume tells UBC that they have registered 80 recoveries from COVID-19 using herbal medicine.
We have so far brought up about 82 recoveries of this pandemic, for example. Some of them were already on oxygen, some of them absconded from hospitals in ICUs, and others were still in preliminary stages.
Before discovering a remedy for COVID-19, Dr. Tuguma and colleagues made sure they acquired the virus themselves to assess its behavior.
Then I decided to, what we call plunge, to throw myself into the problem, and then I discover what it is like. Then that's what I did. So I made discoveries that I looked at the characteristics of the infection. I found a lot of mucus, for example.
Earlier, I met Allen Usinje, a 52-year-old mother who, before visiting Dr. Tugume, was bedridden after acquiring the disease.
52-year-old Businje Allen here in Kijjanangoma got COVID-19 in July this year, and she says she was treated and recovered using herbal medicine.
Yantera kadagara bwe kati muka sanikira kakacupa nangamba tokateeka kumwateeka ku nnyindo nisi bwe nasika nagenda kulya mpulira nga linyingidde mu mutwe amuno mu kifuba wansi nangamba ogenda kukorora nakorora ninkorera buli kimu kyonna kyandi mu kifuba nekivaamu era na enkeera naali bulungi nnyo nga buli omu yali andaba nga ngamba wawonye.
Wangatofa, aged 48, was also referred to Dr. Tugume after testing positive to COVID-19.
They do not give me the names of the medicine, but what I knew, they use organic.
In trying to establish the cost of treatment, Allen and Tofa surprisingly told UBC that they never paid any coin but got cured.
Nze talina yadde ennusu n'emu gye yansaba nti mpa ssente bweti oba bweti wabula yantegeeza ekintu kimu nsooka kulwana kukuwonya eby'essente tunaalaba ye abaffe abatalina bo ssente banaaba tebawona kyekibuuzo kye yambooza.
Tiyanzijjako ssente kuba namugamba sirina ssente nangamba jangu genda kuwona tiyanzijako n'ekikumi musajja wattu nanjanjaba nimpona.
Dr. Tugume lashed out at private hospitals, charging exorbitant fees, with some asking huge deposits before admission.
That one is a straight indicator that somebody who is going to do the therapy is not sure of what he's going to do. Because why would there be the doubt? They just give you, then you go and look for the money sometimes when you don't have. Yeah. And we have found that at times people give more than we would have asked initially. The range would have been between 10,000 to 200,000, depending on the gravity of the ailing patient, because this matches directly with the amount of medicine that this person is going to consume.
Tugume, who is also the acting national chairman of National Council of Traditional Healers and Herbalists Association of Uganda, Nakotha, appreciates efforts by other researchers like Dr. Ogwang.
For example, like what Professor Ogwanga came out with, we completely agreed with it because of the ingredients. The good thing about him is he has our spirit, that he could not hide what he's doing around.
Although he commends President Museveni for standing strong to face the pandemic, Dr. Tugume believes government has not done enough to support their efforts.
Government has not moved an inch in helping us, because we are supposed to, for example, have land put aside. So we have been trying to modify the products of plants. But the plants themselves we are using, we are trying to bring around seemingly extinct species. We have lost many species of plants in the pretext of modernity, especially when people were moving around making modern farms.
As the country struggles to acquire enough vaccines for Ugandans, Dr. Tugume says the only solution is maintaining the standard operating procedures set by government and the Minister of Health.
Precautions have been spelled out very, very well by the President of this country. I just want to salute him, because many coward leaders would have run away from this situation. And we give a credit also to the Minister of Health for the guidelines they gave. It has actually helped. If somebody stuck to those guidelines spelled out by both the government and the Minister of Health, it can do a great deal.
Dr. Alex Victor Biomark Tugume Tuizuche, who is also a civil engineer by profession, holds a degree in naturopathic medicine from Italy. He is a teacher, lecturer, and an administrator of medicine. Bernard Higa, UBC News, Chitende.
Thanks, Bernard. And what a way of testing your medicine. Dr. Tugume had to intentionally get COVID-19 in order to test whether his medicine could actually cure the disease. The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has allayed fears over the COVID-19 relief assistance package to vulnerable people, as a section of the registered beneficiaries continue asking questions on why they have not yet received their payment. In an interview with UBC TV, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Gender, Agre Kibenge, reveals that by closure of business today, over 42,000 payments had so far been okayed and beneficiaries have pocketed their money. Roberto Nyango gives us more.
The Ministry of Gender last Friday wrapped up the exercise for data entry for those eligible to receive the shillings 100,000 COVID-19 relief government assistance. However, payments are still ongoing.
So today alone, I've cleared an additional 6,366 beneficiaries.
Divisions of Kawempe and Machinde in Kampala are among those still receiving the payments.
With Kawempe having 2,974 beneficiaries cleared today, Makindye, I cleared 3,080 from Makindye alone. Mitiana had 139, Koboko 137, Kotido 33, Lugazi 1, Barara 1, Kapchora 1. So you can see that we are now doing what I called the mop-up.
According to Chibenge, details of over 80,000 beneficiaries are currently undergoing scrutiny.
The reasons some of the beneficiary submissions have been rejected by the system, we have explained. It's mainly to do with either inconsistencies in the NIN, the national identification numbers, and the telephones they have used, because some people, I think in the absence of telephones of their own, chose to register other people's telephones.
Although government had initially indicated that those without active mobile money accounts and phones will be assisted through cash delivery, this has been revised and beneficiaries are advised to be patient.
Submit a report, and then we can also engage with our supervisors to agree how to deal with those cases. For example, if somebody cannot have a telephone registered under his or her name, is there any other option? We had initially considered the option of paying those individuals directly using the mobile facility of Post Bank. But again, with time, it was felt not safe enough to do that.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Gender, Agri Chibenge, however, assures the public that no monies will go unaccounted for.
We submitted yesterday to Parliament lists of all the beneficiaries. Their telephone numbers are there. If anybody wants to go and cross-check whether people received money or not, it's not about us trying to convince even pessimists that this number of people have received money. The details are there.
The ministry, which has now embarked onto the correction of the data and harmonization for payments of the pending vulnerable, they are hopeful that by close of business this week, the exercise will be sealed off. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Hope is not lost as yet, and those who have not yet received their money will definitely get it, as you've just heard from the Gender Permanent Secretary. We'll not be taking a short break, but we'll return with business.
Today in history.
On 22nd July 2003, former Iraq President Saddam Hussein's two sons were killed after a 3-hour firefight with U.S. forces. Uday Hussein, 39, and Qusay, 37 years, were killed in the northern city of Mosul. An informer's tip led U.S. Special Forces to a house in which they were both staying. A battle ensued, and after which Americans entered the house and found the bodies of the two brothers, as well as of that Qusay's 14-year-old son, and they were buried in a cemetery near the city of Tikrit at their father's birthplace.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Senchu points when you deposit, send, and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go, MTN.
As the financial year 2020-2021 draws to an end, URA has put measures in place to facilitate taxpayers to file their returns and pay taxes within the set deadline. All our offices across the country and the URA Contact Center shall remain open to provide extra support to our esteemed taxpayers. Additionally, we have extended our contact center service hours from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday, and from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays and public holidays. In light of the COVID-19 risks, we encourage taxpayers to reach us through our improved contact center and other online platforms instead of making physical visits to our offices. For online support, please reach us through our toll-free lines 0800 117 000 or 0800 217 000. Email services@ura.go.ug. Website ura.go.ug. Social media, Facebook, URA page, Twitter at URA Uganda. URA Customs Help Tool, help.ura.go.ug/login. URA appreciates all taxpayers who have duly fulfilled their obligations. Stay safe and let us all observe the standard operating procedures to prevent further spread of the COVID-19 virus. Stay safe as we develop Uganda together.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Airtel Uganda has the best and most affordable rates when it comes to withdrawing and sending money. Withdraw money for as low as 330 shillings up to a maximum of 12,500 shillings. Sending money is just as affordable as ever. Absolutely unbeatable. Use Airtel Money on the most affordable network with the largest network of Airtel Money branches in Uganda. Dial *185# to get started. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
The Universal Periodic Review, UPR, is a unique process under the United Nations. It involves peer review of the human rights records of all UN member states every 4 years. The ultimate aim of the UPR is to help improve on the human rights situation in all countries through technical assistance and cooperation. Uganda will be reviewed in January 2022. This is an opportunity to raise international advocacy on Uganda's human rights situation. The National Coalition of Human Rights Defenders Uganda is coordinating all CSOs to participate in the CSO alternative reporting process in liaison with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. For more information, email info@hrdcoalition.ug or call 0772 484 504.
.26 after 8, you are still watching News Tonight here on UBC TV. Elizabeth Nakakoni is on sign language and I am Rukid Edward Kijjanangoma. Let's talk business now, and Makerere University College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology has installed a brand new scanning electronic microscope to enhance research in the country. Take a watch.
You can actually start seeing particles.
The 2 billion brand new scanning electronic microscope installed by Makerere University College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology can be used by forensic and ballistic experts during the crime scene at a short time. Principal investigator, who's also the Makerere University Chair of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Professor John Baptist Chirawera, explains what extra work this electronic microscope can perform to researchers in the country.
For forensics, it can be able to identify those samples which have been picked from the crime scene. So it could be a piece of hair which you want to corroborate with the suspect's hair. It could be a blood sample which you want to compare genes with another. It could also be gunpowder. And also you can also be able to determine which gun this cartridge came from if you pick all these these samples from the crime scene.
Vice-Chancellor Professor Barnabas Nawangwe thanked government's contribution towards research innovation at the university.
$800,000 just one equipment is a very big investment for a country like Uganda. And it is just one of 4 such equipment on the African continent. I'm told 2 of them are in South Africa and another one in Uganda. So we have the 4th one. What that means, the principal saying we can do a few things. We can actually do 1 million things with this equipment. All researchers who are researching in all those areas that they both have talked about now have no reason why they have to be limited by equipment. They don't have to travel anywhere.
Presiding over the commissioning of the electronic microscope, Minister for Science and Technology, Dr. Monica Musenero, represented by Senior Research Associate Dr. David Seruka, says this state-of-the-art microscope is the first of its kind in Eastern, Central and Sub-Saharan Africa. However, he revealed that with the acquisition of this microscope, government will no longer facilitate researchers abroad, but will come to Makerere University for testing of its specimens.
One no longer needs to travel like you have mentioned. We don't need to go very far. We just need to find room within what we already have in the machine that we have acquired. This equipment is therefore a big breakthrough for not only SEDAT, but the whole country. It is a central facility that will be used by many partners like you mentioned. We expect many products analyzed and processed using this equipment.
Joseph Bule, Helen Barbara, reporting for UBC TV News.
Sports news now, and we look at the Tokyo Olympics. After a long wait as a result of postponement due to COVID-19, the Tokyo 2020 Olympics are finally here. The 32nd Olympiad gets underway on Friday morning with Uganda in the limelight as rower Nolin Noble is in action. Our sports reporter John Bansentamu gives us more.
The 32nd Olympiad gets underway in less than 5 hours from now in Tokyo, Japan, where about 206 nations have sent participants. Uganda is one of those with 25 participants, of whom there are 13 ladies that are ready to achieve success at the world's biggest sports spectacle.
As a woman representative, I feel very excited and happy that we have 13 of our representatives being the female. So that means that there is really an improvement in the life or in the gender sensitivity in our country, because we see the girl child progressing in all sectors. So I want to commend all the girl children out there and all the female persons out there to engage in every sector and ensure that they develop their talents without fear or favor.
The mood in the country is low-key as the COVID-19 lockdown continues, but to sports fans, the games come in handy to ease the boredom.
Yeah, I think we do feel it because we have nothing to watch. Football the football season is done. We are waiting for a new season, so what is entertaining people at home is going to be Olympics. Everybody is waiting for the games.
Uganda's cast of stars at these Olympics, including Joshua Cheptegei, Jacob Kiplimo and Stephen Kiprotich, raises medal optimism amongst many Ugandans.
Uganda is a notch higher now within the East African region, and we are catching up with our brothers in Kenya and Ethiopia as well, within the fraternity of athletics, and this is really good. The government has started investments on athletics. Of course, it has invested a lot. Look at the Terrier Training Center. Although it is not, it has not reached completion, but of course, I know very soon government will be finalizing on it.
I have visited the homes of Stephen, of Cheptegei, and others. What powers them are the hubs of Mount Elgon, which they have grown up eating and drinking like I've done. That's why maybe I'm a Rastaman. Now, these hubs are so powerful. In the Sebei area, that kind of drink is called la kwek. It's kind of drink herbal, but mixed with honey.
In Japan, the already arrived athletes, especially the boxing trio of Kathleen Nanziri, David Semuju and Chadil Musa Bwogi, has been prepared well by the coaching staff led by Pat Klihanda.
I've been here for like almost, it's coming into 1.5 months. Boys have been training from Osaka. We're there for like 30 days. My training was good, and boys are, at least we have changes from, according to what I saw from Uganda. Our boxers have improved, they have strength. We had some challenges, but as of today, they are all fine, just ready for the tournament.
Rower Kathleen Noble will be the first to test action when she competes in the single scull category on Friday morning. Uganda has been at the Olympics since 1956 and garnered 7 medals, including 2 gold, 3 silver and 2 bronze medals. John Burns, Sentamo, reporting.
Thanks, Burns, and of course all eyes will be on rower Kathleen Noble as she represents Uganda tomorrow. And that report brings us to the end of this first edition of News Tonight. We'll be back with you later on at 10 p.m. On sign language, it has been Elizabeth Nakakuni, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijjanangoma. I'll leave you with the weather focus for tomorrow with Kutesa Mili.
Once again on UBC, Kutesa Mili with your weather update. We are experiencing sunny intervals mixed with hazy conditions, mainly in the southern part of our country, but the northern is still experiencing light showers. This is due to the ridging over the tip of South Africa that is pushing in the hazy conditions towards our country, mainly in the southern part of our country, but the northern is still having light showers due to the rain belt that is maintained in the northern part of our country. Tomorrow morning, though, we expect to wake up with sunny intervals in most parts of our country, apart from some few areas like across Arua and those ones in the islands of Lake Shores. Afternoon hours, they expect a pickup of light showers in most parts of our country, apart from some few areas in the southwestern of our country and towards the shores. That is expected to continue with sunny intervals. Temperature raise up to 30 degrees of maximum in northern part of our region and across Kasese, but in our capital city Kampala with a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius, Kabale Highlands with the lowest of 26 degrees Celsius. You is moving out of our country touring other cities across the globe. We are forecasting light showers across Mombasa and Moscow with a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius in Mombasa. Though Moscow is going to be inclusive with the thunder showers. Dubai with the sunny intervals with a maximum of 42 degrees Celsius. New York and London are expected to have sunny conditions. Thanks for tuning on UBC. I remain Kutesa Mili. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.
Echa COVID-19 kijja kuggwa only if we stay at home